live.
I think we're live.
Yeah.
Welcome back. It is Sunday at 3 o'clock, and we are doing our mostly book chats. I'm Jody.
I'm Jen.
Today we're talking about Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas, which is a debut.
It is a debut from last year.
I don't remember exactly how long it's been out. I don't think that many months.
Copyright 2020.
Yeah, I feel like it's like maybe middle to end of 2020, so it's probably close to a year.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact date. But anyway. Do you want to give us a synopsis?
Yeah. Where do I start with the synopsis?
I know, right?
Because it's like a lot happens. So Yadriel is a Bruges X.
That's how I said it was Bruges X.
That's how I kept saying it in my mind. Anyway, he is trans and he's out, and his family is having trouble accepting that. And part of it is into like the workings of the Bruges X. So Bruges can like break tethers of spirits and like send them on. Bruges can heal, and he's like, "Hey, I do this," but they're like, "But, eh." So he's dealing with that.
Yeah.
Also in high school, so we go into some of that. And he's going to prove it to his family that he is a Brujo. He can do this magic. So he does the ceremony. He summons a spirit. The wrong spirit.
Nothing bad goes when you summon your first spirit.
Yeah. So it's the wrong spirit, and then the spirit won't leave him alone and has like unfinished business. He's like, "Wait, no, this isn't why you're here." So he and Spirit, Julian, have to figure all that out while dealing with emotional stuff and each other and
his missing cousin.
Yeah, his missing cousin. There's a missing cousin too.
Yeah. The whole point of him doing the summoning was he was hoping to summon his missing cousin. Or at least find out where he is.
Yeah, so that didn't work.
That did not work.
And then it just
spiraled.
Oh, it's also like 2 or 3 days till the Dia de Muertos ceremony, so they're on a clock.
I know, right? They were on a clock.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I really liked it. It was really good. Yeah, like it was all really good. Like the writing was fun and it moves well. The characters are very endearing. There's like spirits and like a big family and celebration. It's colorful and like emotional, but also kind of like tense, how it is with your extended family sometimes, but still they're your family.
Right.
Warm. So I really liked all of that going on. There's a lot going on, but
there's a lot going on.
It weaves in and out when it needs to. Well,
yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
I think I'm actually going to give it 5 stars, and we all know I rarely give 5 stars. But, oh my goodness, this is a book you pick up and you're instantly transported into this world, I felt like.
So much happens in chapter 1.
Yeah, and it was so easy to get into it. And then the entire time, for the most part, I have this stupid grin on my face. I'm sure of it, because Julian is so infectious. Like, Aiden really made this character pop off the page. Like, he is so lifelike, even though he's a spirit and he's a written character.
He's dead.
I mean,
for most of the book.
Yeah, when he grins, I just grinned back. It was like if you see that smile and you grin back.
Yeah. There's like a little bit when he's not on page, and then like you meet him and it's like, how are you not here the whole time?
Yeah. So I really liked that, and I also really liked all the family stuff that you're talking about. I love that it's this big family and there is always drama. But it's a warm, I always search out warm family things. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just do. And this hit all those notes for me, which I really enjoyed.
Like the multi-generational family. It's like you have difficulty with them sometimes because it's like you want them to change, but then they're however set they are in their own ways, and it's just like, yeah, it's just there's tension in it, but there's still like the warmth that they are a family.
Yeah, I thought so too, and I love that we're building up to this big celebration, which just brought even I think more people into the house, which it was fun to see all of that too.
I liked all the descriptors of I'm gonna forget all the Spanish words for them. For like the tissue paper like cutouts they would have, and the marigolds, and like the sugarcane arches, and just like how descriptive all the decorations were.
It made me appreciate marigolds. Honestly, until reading this book, marigolds are one of my least favorite flowers. I don't know why. I just don't find them aesthetically pleasing. But after reading this book, I was kind of like, I really need to give them another chance. It also hit all the notes of why I also read YA romances. Because it's all that fun, like fiery passion, first like dating and first love, and it's all crazy and fun, but it's not the messy drama affairs and whatever that sometimes tends to come in adult books that get just like out of control.
I have no patience for affairs in adult books. It's like,
yeah,
but it's just like, stop lying.
So I love YA books because they give you just those, all the wonderful moments of the beginning of a new relationship, I guess, all the fun parts. And I felt like this definitely hit all that because it was, you know, the annoying guy turned into the love interest, which was just amazing. So, yeah. Anyway, do you want to talk more about characters to start with?
We can.
Do you want to start with anyone specific?
Should we start with Yadriel? I think since
he's
our main boy.
Yeah, start with Yadriel.
What'd you think?
I liked him. He's quiet. I really liked that meeting Julian kind of shook him out of his shell. Because he does not like to be the center.
Yeah, he says at one point, he's like, it's in his narration, he's like, I'm antisocial out of self-preservation. And I was like, you poor boy, but also I
totally relate.
Yeah, it's like, real, that I can understand that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like he was overly, I mean, he's a good kid.
Yeah.
And I like that Julian kind of got him out of that comfort zone of, not that you should skip school, that's not what I'm advocating, but, you know, shook up his life a little bit in a good way, made him a little more daring.
Yeah.
And I liked that. I liked seeing him come out into this new,
and it seems like
freer person.
He helped Yadriel like be more comfortable in his skin.
Yes.
But like Yadriel, yes, accepts his like identity and his culture, but that other people don't, and that anxiety made him anxious. But then like Julian's like ease with it just kind of reflected back onto him.
Yeah, and made him more at ease with Julian.
Yeah, and with himself, which is like, this was nice.
Yeah, and I think Yadriel, he just never knows how people are going to respond either. I think, and so you're already like, how's this going to go? And Julian just is so nonchalant about it. He's like,
and he's like,
great.
Wait, what?
Right? And he's like, that didn't normally go like that.
Like, this was too easy.
Right? Is this how it should be? Yes. So I liked him, and I thought he was a good narrator. Like, he's not like any way unreliable or any of those kind of things.
I also like that we get like a YA protagonist that's running around in combat boots. Like, that's mentioned multiple times. I'm like, yes, you're running around in sensible shoes.
I actually read that and thought Jen's gonna approve of this.
I do, because it's like sometimes they're whatever they're doing.
Like, why are you wearing those shoes? Flip flops and running through the mud?
Yeah, or just like.
Yeah.
But no, he had like sensible shoes on, and I was like, okay, this all makes sense.
Yeah.
They're running through cemeteries and like parks at night. They're over train tracks.
I say like underpasses. Yeah, exactly.
All over the place.
You're thinking there could be broken glass. Wear sensible shoes.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about Maritza as well, or Maritza?
Yeah, I liked her.
I did too.
She's very funny. She's just like very entertained by Yadriel's problems that he's created a little bit for himself.
He did.
She's like, oh, I'll help, but also I'm going to laugh first.
And I liked their relationship in the sense that they're both kind of their little black sheep in the family. With her kind of saying, nope, I'm not gonna do the Bruja.
Doesn't the J sound like an H usually?
I was saying Bruja in my head, but that does not mean that's what it was.
She didn't want to do the healing because it has animal blood. She's a vegan.
Thank you, that works out. And I appreciated that. She just knew who she was again, I'm always so impressed with teens who know exactly who they are, because I was not that person. I was definitely like figuring it all out still. And she's, again, another really good counterpoint for Yadriel in the...
She's like his one confidant, like his one friend who's like on his side with no reservations. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you want to talk about Julian?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the cover again because I take the cover off when I read.
Oh, we didn't talk about how pretty the book is.
Yeah. Let's do Julian first. We'll finish
Okay.
the 3 and then we'll circle around. I like Julian. I feel like if you liked Ronan... I texted my friend.
Yes!
If you liked Ronan Lynch in The Raven Cycle, you'll love Julian because Julian's just like a better version.
Oh my gosh, yes. A better version, perfectly... Yes. This had This had a lot of Raven Boy feelings for me, in general. Just the spirits and
Okay.
Julian. Continue.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep going.
No.
But yeah, he's very... There's one part where it's like, no one deserves Julian Diaz, and I'm like, they're right. Because he's like kind of the troublemaker, and he's a little irreverent and sarcastic, but then he also gets like very excited around Perosco, the little broken gray cat, and just he laughs out loud and then sings badly to the radio, so he's just very like vibrant.
Yeah. Again, you could just feel this character come off the page, I felt like. And you couldn't not love him. Like, there was no way. You can't read his parts and not grin.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it's going to be.
Or, like, the 3 of them together.
Yeah.
Because at one point, like, Yadriel and Maritza have to go to school. And they have to take Julian with.
Yeah.
Because Yadriel has Julian's tether, and Julian has to go where his tether is, but also Julian's a bit of a handful. And doesn't sit still or quiet
It's
for
just
long
high
periods
energy.
of time. So they take him to school so they can keep an eye on him. And just the 3 of them together are really fun.
They are. I liked all 3 of them together. When you add the dogs in.
Yeah.
There's quite the little group.
Giant pit bulls with like their like leashes on her belt. It just...
Yep, I enjoyed that. I thought it was really kind of funny that they went to school. Like,
yeah, and I was like...
You're trying to, like, solve these, like, missing cases, like, missing person cases, and you're like, well, I have to go to school.
This missing person case, keeps getting bigger and bigger the more you look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go to school. And then after school we'll do this. And I was kind of like, but you told him last night you'd go find his friends today. I mean, like, you didn't tell him.
Okay, I also couldn't comprehend skipping high school if this had happened. I'd be like, no, but I have to go to school, like... I'd get in trouble if I did.
I probably would have too, but I probably would have too. I'm not sure how I would have skipped, unless I was a senior. Maybe then I might have, but...
High school was so small that if someone's not there, like, everyone knew, one, that they weren't there, but also why they weren't there, just because we were so close and small.
But this was a big school.
That doesn't comprehend for me.
All right. Any other characters you want to talk about?
Not in depth. They'll probably come up.
Yeah. I wanted to show the cover, not to sidetrack too much, but I meant to do this earlier because I thought this was just beautifully done.
It is pretty.
Oops, sorry, bookmark. So it's really pretty on the front, but then also on the spine, it's really cool.
The spine went up in the Instagram post, so there was like this like bare spine, and then like.
Yeah, I always like it when they do nice dust jackets as well as a nice actual book.
Yeah, but I was looking at the cover because I kept reading it, and I'm like, I don't know what anything looks like. I just have to make things up in my head.
Oh.
But it's like the cover has like Julian's tether, and then he's holding a chrysanthemum, and there's the graves and the candles, and both of them, and yeah.
I thought that was a marigold.
Did I say chrysanthemum? Yeah, I meant a marigold.
Okay,
I completely forgot.
They do talk about them. And then you have Lady Death at the top.
Yep.
Yep, no, it was really well designed. I liked all of it. And the back is also really well designed again.
It's pretty.
Kudos for a well designed book. And for a well done book. Alright, do you want to talk writing?
Yeah. We've talked a little bit about it, but what else do you want to say about it?
There were some just really great one-lines in here, and I wished I would have marked them. But Julian is often described as like this storm, and some of the phrasing was just beautifully done. that I was like, ugh, I don't know. This is such an impressive debut. Like, to be able to write to this level and to have your characters so vivid as well for your first book. It's just very impressive. I admire anyone who can do that.
Yeah, I did like the writing, and like, this wasn't Own Voice's book, so it's just like the parts where, like, you know, if you have that knowledge going into it, it's just like it makes it more poignant, I guess, because it is on its own anyway. And then just to know that, like, other kids are going to read this and like see themselves in that, that's just like, oh, it's just a good feeling,
right?
Yeah.
Yep, I agree completely with all of that as well. Okay, spoilers.
Should we go to spoilers?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, anyway, we'll go there in a minute. We'll go there in a minute.
Okay, and I really do think you should all go read this book. So come back and watch this after you've read it, because we're going to spoil it, and there are things you won't want spoiled, I feel like. Okay, Probably. Take a moment, go away, come back another time. Okay.
Wait, they're gone?
I think they're gone.
Okay. I was going to say that I don't think there are that many spoilers in this book, because, I don't know, this book didn't have any spoilers for me. Like, I was reading it, and we mentioned, like, the jaguar daggers, like, super early on.
Yeah, we mentioned them.
They're mentioned, but as soon as I mentioned them, like, okay, that's...
As soon as they were missing?
Well, not even before that, just when he's like, oh, there's this thing, Lita tells this story to the kids to scare them, I'm like, okay, those are coming back. When Yadriel ran into the house the first night, and somebody, like, misses him, but, like, runs out at the same time, I'm like, okay, jot that down.
Right? There was a lot of, like, this is gonna come back around. Yeah, moments.
When they got, like, they felt the pain in their chest, and that the daggers, you have to stab someone in the heart. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
You're like, I'm onto you.
Yeah. So it was a bit of, like, a whodunit mystery as it unravels, but...
It was, but not in, like, a suspense... Like, not in a suspenseful way. Like, it kept you reading in the sense...
There's, like, different suspense. There's the suspense that Julian's going to leave.
Yes.
Not the suspense of, like, finding the murderer.
Right.
But those became tied together, so...
Yeah. I mean, because I didn't want him to leave.
Yeah.
Obviously. And then I did want to know where Miguel was. Like, that was kind of an important tidbit. And you knew it was all related right off the bat. Okay. I will say, when they found Julian in the old church... And they felt this powerful, like, magic or something.
Yeah, Yadriel feels this presence in the air.
They both do. Yeah. I was like, why aren't we searching the church?
Yeah, there's even a part where he's, like, standing at the door and he's, like, looking around. He's like, I feel like I forgot something.
Yeah. I mean, they never really questioned that. And it was kind of like, but how did Julian get from the train or the overpass to here? Like, his St. Jude medal was here. How did this happen?
He had no memory of it, so they were like, okay, I guess.
But wouldn't you think I should search this space? I don't know. That was the only thing.
There's a lot going on
Let's
that night.
search this space.
The shock of, like, 1, summoning a spirit, and then 2, it's the wrong one.
Right. Okay, there was all. And then you also had to get home in time for curfew.
Yeah.
But still, the next day, after school...
And sneak a boy into your room, but it's a dead boy.
Yeah, that everybody in your family will be able to see if they see him.
Like, and, like, kind of sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that was the only part that I was like, well, we all know it's coming back to this church as well. And even when Yadriel tried to, like, sever the cord between the tether and Julian, and it, like, bounced off, it's kind of like, well, obviously there's a reason it bounced off. It's not the willingness. Like... There's something else obviously going on.
It reminded me of Hercules, like the Disney one, where they have the fates spinning the thread of life, and they try to cut it with the scissors, and it starts glowing and won't cut.
That was totally what I envisioned as well. So yeah, I guess there's not a lot to spoil, because if you're reading it, you're going to catch all of this.
And you know who it is. It's the uncle.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen the evil uncle?
Well, now I'm thinking Lion King, because we're talking Disney.
Evil Uncle Hamlet, Lion King.
There's just a lot of them.
Yeah.
Which that one was sort of, like, really painful in the sense that Yadriel thought he was his, like, one advocate. And then to find out that really all the whispering was about himself, the uncle. Like, whispering to his dad wasn't about Yadriel at all. It was about bringing back what he wanted for himself.
Yeah. And it's, like, sad because you see why the uncle feels this way. Because he and Yadriel are both, like, outcasts in different ways. His uncle doesn't have Brujo powers.
Mm-hmm.
So he's, like, as much sidelined and discarded as Yadriel is. So it's like, okay, like, this, and it addresses it, like, the end. Like, you're right, this whole system was messed up. And, like, it left multiple kinds of people on the edges.
Yeah, as the outskirts, yeah.
So it's like, I get why, but still, it's not a good enough reason to do this.
It's not a good enough reason to kidnap 4 kids and try to sacrifice them all.
Yeah. And he's like, I tried to take the people that wouldn't be missed. And it's like, no, dude, that doesn't make it better.
Right? That does not justify this. No, nothing will. Yeah, there was another point where I was like, it's definitely the uncle, but I don't want it to be the uncle.
Right?
I really didn't want it to
want
be
the uncle.
But again, if it wasn't him, it's going to be some, like, rando off the street that you're like, where did this character come from?
Yeah, there weren't any other characters with enough development to do it, which is fine. Like, YA, like, tends to focus on its, like, main lead or leads, so and keeps it very personal that way. So, like, it's fine. It's just, like, I don't think the big whodunit is the point of this.
I don't think that's why you read this.
No.
Yeah. I say I was not disappointed the fact that I knew how this was going to go. Although I will say I was pretty sure they were both going to end up alive. But there was definitely moments at the very end. Wait, what? Sorry.
But they do.
Yeah. So I thought they would, because this had to end happy for me. I'm putting a lot of pressure on this author. But there were moments where I was like, oh my gosh, is Julian going to make it? Why are we just sitting here? Why aren't you doing something?
Like, for these characters, like, in the story, like, a happy ending is more revolutionary than a sad one.
Yeah, in this one, yeah. And then there was that moment then when I thought, oh no, not Yadriel.
It's like, oh, he's alive. Wait, no, you can't die.
Right. That was another thing that you also knew a Brujo, or however it's pronounced, was going to have to go in and save him again, because they can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But you knew Yadriel was going to do it.
There was one thing that didn't happen that I thought would happen. I thought Julian would become a Brujo.
I wondered that.
Because they were like, the magic's dying in the family line, so that's how they, like, explain Yadriel not becoming a Brujo. So they're like, oh, you just have that. And he's like, no, that's not it. Anyway, so I thought Julian was going to be, like, inducted, and that was how they would, like, revitalize this system and his traditions, and, like, save the magic, the dying magic.
Right, because new blood kind of a thought process. Yeah.
And it's just like, because he says at one point, he's like, I would have been good at this. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. I wrote that down.
Wrote that down. I also thought that, and I almost thought that the end epilogue would be that. But it was not. But I'm okay. Like, it's still a good ending. We got the closure we needed, and we see them run off into the sunset, which made me very happy.
Did you like this epilogue?
No. But that's because it was like a day later.
Well, we had to see, like, the big festival.
We did. I thought, yes, we did need to see Yadriel get fully inducted into the Brujo family.
Yeah.
That was important. But at the same time, I almost thought it was going to be like a year later. I don't know why. I just thought it might be a year later.
But if it was a year later, he wouldn't have gotten to see his mom.
You know, yeah, it'd still be. Just a year later to Halloween.
That ceremony, that year, he would have missed seeing his mom.
Yeah. Well, I just assumed they probably saw his mom. We just wouldn't have seen his mom until the next year. But, that being said, I think that they also addressed things that needed to be said in that epilogue. So
I like that his dad
owned
up to it, and
finally
apologized, and I was like, good, that's good.
Yeah, I actually felt that there was real growth for the dad, not like the fake kind where you're like, I'm trying, but you're like, are you? I actually thought Dad finally got it.
Yeah, I was worried at one point. I'm like, oh. When I was, like, pretty sure it was the uncle, but I didn't want it to be the uncle. I'm like, okay, who else could it be then? I'm like, it's gonna be the dad. And I'm like, please don't make it the dad. I don't like that either.
I don't like that. No more bad dads. We can't read any more of those.
Yeah, but it's okay.
This might be our first evil uncle story that we've done for Book Chats.
Is it?
I think so.
Know.
I could be wrong, but I don't remember any other evil uncles.
I can't remember anything else we read.
Well, then we'll address that another day.
That's always a problem, though.
Yeah. It's okay.
I don't know. But I feel like evil uncles are pretty common, too.
They are. I just don't feel like we've done them in book chat. That was all.
Okay.
But they are very, very common in literature in general. Yes. Completely agree with that statement. Yeah. So, what else do you want to talk about with this? Oh, what do you want to talk about Julian and Rio's relationship?
Oh, the brothers?
Mhm.
There's okay, I kind of wish we got more of, Diego and Yadriel. So Diego's Yadriel's older brother. And, he's there a little bit, and, in the way he's there, it's we're kind of understand that he's his dad's favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Which there's just not a lot between Diego and Yadriel. I guess you can read that as, they aren't super close because of this tension with the dad and, in their family. And
I'm not sure what the age gap is either.
Yeah.
If he's, considerably older or not.
I think he's, because Yadriel's 16. I think he's maybe, 18, because he doesn't seem like he's in high school.
No, he didn't feel like he was in a high school. And I didn't think he was quite as old as Miguel, but I wasn't really sure either.
Yeah, Miguel's, 28.
Yeah, he is.
He's not
that old.
No.
Yeah. We don't really see Diego at all.
Yeah.
We do see Rio.
Mm-hmm.
And him and his brother are a lot alike.
Yadriel even points out, he's you fight so much because you're so similar.
And you just are so fiercely loyal and want to save everyone, which is great. You just butt heads a little bit into going about how to do that.
They do, and then they come around at the end.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Well, it seemed you think they normally have big blowouts and then come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Rio kept saying, no, this is the end, Julian's not coming back. What?
Rio's ill, and that never came up again.
Wait, what?
Rio's sick. Remember?
No.
Well, Yadriel's looking at him, he's something's wrong with his brother,
Oh, yeah.
And it seemed like he had some sort of, I don't know.
Cancer or something.
It was probably going to be cancer, because it's always cancer.
Well, yeah.
Some sort of chronic illness or, terminal illness.
Some terminal illness.
And, Yadriel and Maritza could, feel it.
Oh, my gosh, I totally forgot about that.
And I was like, what is this? Yeah, it didn't come back.
It never came back around. I remember being concerned about that when we were reading that moment. This is not good. Oh, but didn't he later just say it wasn't a sickness, it was his fatigue? His fatigue was rolling off of him in waves.
Yeah, but then that didn't convince me, because fatigue can so often be a symptom. So I was just that's just more proof that he's ill.
I guess I went along with the face value. Because it was never brought up again. And I was like, he probably is exhausted. He's taking care of 4 kids at this stage. And he's 22.
Yeah.
And he's a business owner as well. That's a lot at 22. I wouldn't have done that at 22. But yeah, they have a very interesting relationship, I guess, is the gist of that.
Yeah. Julian rubber stamps signs off on stealing his brother's car from beyond the grave. He's like, well, this car was left to me and Rio.
Right.
It means this is okay. And Yadriel's like, no, that's not how car theft works. That's not how this works.
Right. Sure, that'll really hold up in court, bud. So the ghost and spirit of Julian said I could do this.
He's right here. Take my word for it.
Right. How else did I know where the keys were? Even that. No, buddy. That was a fun day. I liked his last day.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it really just got it just really got Yadriel out of his bubble.
Yeah.
And oh yeah.
He got to be
fun.
his age
and
not worry about things for a little bit.
Or yeah, anything. And I love that he made him an altar at the end.
An ofrenda.
Yes. There was a lot of heart in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Just plan to feel all the feels in this one.
This is a good book.
Yeah. It hits all the right notes. I also enjoyed that. My backpack will never smell the same after he shoves all the food in as the offering. Yeah, that was cute. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about?
Is this a standalone?
I think it might be, and I'm kind of sad about that.
I could see it being a standalone, because it is one contained story.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you could expand it into a second Or they could if they ever were inclined.
Yeah, I feel there's room to grow.
Yeah.
In this world.
I'm also not I'm not upset if
it was a different character.
No, if they don't. If the story doesn't expand. Like, I'm good either way.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't object to more in this world, and it wouldn't have to be just Yadriel. It could be a different character that we go off with, and Yadriel and Julian can be more like sidekicks. But I need them in it as well if there's another book. I'm just putting that out there as well. They were just wonderful together.
Because I feel like there could be growing pains, like if the Bruges community tries to expand and if they take in people and train them that way, so it's not just in the family.
Well, and there's a lot you could do with the maligno spirits as well, and something happening with that. And there's a lot of room that could grow.
Oh, this reminded me, Balaam and Shibalba, when we read Gods of Jade and Shadow.
Oh yeah,
I was like, wait, I know that name, I know that place, I know what this is.
Totally thought that the whole time too, and I was like, oh no, you don't want to go there.
Don't want to go there. That's bad.
Yes, thank you, Lady Death, for solving that problem.
Yeah. So.
And I thought that was so callous of Yadriel's uncle as well, to be like, I want everyone to have to go there, and just he wanted to punish the Bruges.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna punish them for what they did to me, and I'm like, okay, I get that energy, but
I mean, that's a lot of centuries you're gonna punish.
Well, then he's like, Yadriel's like, you're gonna bring war to Earth again, this is gonna kill a lot of people. He's like,
yeah, he didn't care.
No,
he was so blind with his grief and greed, I guess.
Yeah,
that he was just not listening.
It did break my heart when Yadriel first finds him down there, and how proud his uncle is of him, that he has his dagger that I don't remember, portage, something.
Yeah,
it lets him do his magic. That his uncle was so proud of him. He's like, I knew you could do it. I knew you had it in you. And I'm like, oh man.
And yet you're still going to betray us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also felt that. And yeah, everything that went along with it.
Yeah.
As a side note, I love that Maritza was the knife forger.
Yeah.
You're awesome, girl. She's just great.
That was so cool.
And I liked when her sister's like, what are you going to do? And she's like, I'm going to make knives. What do you mean, what am I going to do?
Her sister who's tired and stressed and going through med school.
Oh, yeah, that. That's what you want to do. That's a whole nother stress level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, I really liked this, obviously.
It's really good. I wish I'd read it sooner.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's always how it goes. A book comes out, I'm so excited to read it, and then I don't read it for months.
I know, it sits on the shelf. Yeah. But I'm glad you read it now.
Yeah.
Yay.
We got it done.
We did, and we enjoyed it immensely. It was a book that I wanted to crawl in and be a part of, which is weird maybe to say, but I did.
I take this as a Netflix.
Oh my gosh,
show.
right. I know, I kept reading this thinking this would be such a good thing to watch.
Yeah, but then the Netflix shows are always 10 years past where the genre actually is.
Yeah, so, and then I always hate the adaptation anyway.
And then it's
it's wrong.
Or I have problems with it. I'm like, oh, come on, not this. But
where you're like, this is really strange.
Maybe in 10 years.
Yeah, maybe.
Get an adaptation of this.
All right. Well, if you have no more final thoughts.
I'm good.
I am also good. So we will not be meeting next Sunday. So we will not be back until April 25th. And on that day, we are going to be discussing the Book of Lost Names.
Not we, Jody and Melissa.
I was going to say, and it'll be Melissa joining me. We was a global we. Mostly books.
Royal we.
Yes. So definitely tune in on April 25th to hear our thoughts on that book. And don't forget, I guess, that we'll be back. And if you want to read it, since you have a lot of time, you can get it at mostlyBooksAZ.com. You can also come into the store and shop if you wear your face mask, or you can call over the phone and order it as well. All right.
All the above for this one, too, which you should read.
Yeah, absolutely. Go read this now. All right. We will see you in a couple weeks then. Bye.